Jordan,
Iain.
who went to a car boot sale, saw a delightful carriage clock, bought it for their mum, intending for it to be a nice addition to their mantelpiece, didn't, however, know that it was cursed, which ultimately ended up unleashing a 5,000-year-old grumpy spirit called Bob, who likes to hide TV remotes.
Johnny Depp?
No, two guys. What's up? Hello, and welcome to episode 50 of Two Guys What's Up, the weekly comedy podcast where I couldn't use a TV remote if I tried because I'm joined by the guy who takes up all my free time, Jordan. Jordan, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, I'm not too bad. Actually, funnily enough, you remember last week when I said that I had loads happen to me?
Yeah.
Well, this time I'm back to normal as all has happened to me.
Oh, right, okay. Shall I tell you some stuff then?
Go for it, please, because I couldn't even fill the time if I tried.
Oh, dear. Firstly, I guess tooth-wise, feeling a bit better?
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. It's fine now. I can pretty much stick my tongue right in it and it doesn't even hurt.
Oh, great, yeah. I don't think they'd recommend you do that anyway, but that's good news.
They keep telling me not to, but it's just far too addicting.
So, just a little update. Do you remember a little while ago now, actually, I did some, human MOT, shall we say?
I remember that, yeah. I was actually thinking about that yesterday, thinking
Were
if we'd ever
you?
get an update, yeah.
Interesting. Were you thinking maybe he's not brought it up because he's, dying?
Yeah, maybe I haven't heard from him today because he just saw the results and just keeled over.
Yeah. Well, alas, nothing wrong on all counts.
Just ugly.
Yeah. They did test my mind, to be fair. But it was liver, kidneys, diabetes, cholesterol, other things.
I guess blood, heart, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And
Lovely.
nothing abnormal. So that is good. So it means as of the new year, I am properly going for it.
Nice.
Knowing that I've got a kind of a clean slate.
Yep.
Things could have been terrible, but they're not.
Yeah, true.
And that kind of spurs me on to be like, you know what? You can start this health kick and sort of just go for it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. 2 points to make. Number one, it is actually coming up to almost a year exactly since you said that you were starting doing the bike every day. So, little update on that. How's that gone? Moving on? Okay.
It started off really well.
Yeah.
A bit like most things, really, and then just sort of fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I got a bit poorly, and then I just never really went back to it.
Nah, that's fair enough.
Which is not great. That is absolutely the thing you don't want to do.
I think most people can share your woes in that, the motivation to get on it, and it goes for a month, and then something happens, and it just knocks you out of routine. It's hard to get back on it. So New Year's is the perfect time to jump back on it.
I think so, because it feels like a new chapter, doesn't it? Like new year, a fresh start, new me, as they always say.
Yeah.
So I'm confident that I can actually make something work, especially now knowing that basically I don't have umpteen illnesses.
Perfect.
So that's good.
Good, yeah. Second point to make. Yesterday, as I was scoffing down my second McDonald's burger, looking at my tummy and thinking, why have I gotten myself here? I looked at my wife and I said, as of New Year's, I think I'm going to start trying to be a bit healthier, stop eating fast food, that kind of thing, get a bit healthy, go for walks. And she kind of looked at me, side-eyed me and went, yeah, sure. So I was like, okay, thanks for the confidence boost. Yeah, absolutely. But you and me, Jordan, we're on it together. We'll show this world who's sexy.
Hell yeah, we will.
I'm already sexy, but yeah.
Or sexier, if that's possible.
Not possible, pal, but, lose the moobs we speak so frequently of these days.
Yeah. But when you say we're on it together, I don't think we'll both fit on the bike.
We can try. We've both got on ourselves in places that we didn't think we'd be able to before, so...
Yeah, but that was fun.
I have high hopes and I have great belief in us, Jordan. We can do it.
Excellent. I love it. If anyone has any sort of motivational quotes or things that they can help just spur us on that little bit more, please do let us know, because God hope I need it.
I used to have a mirror in my bedroom that I just wrote in lipstick, stop being a fat shit. And that didn't work. All it spurred me on to do was to get rid of the mirror so that I didn't have to see it every morning. Yeah.
And that's when you went to McDonald's.
Yeah,
Make yourself feel a bit better.
Yeah, I'll get some exercise. I accidentally just found myself in the queue at McDonald's. What the f*** did I get here?
Have you seen, like, I'm sure it's in Japan or something, where there are McDonald's with stationary bikes for people to be pedaling?
I have not seen that.
Have you not seen that?
No.
That is a thing, which feels wrong.
Feels a little bit cheeky, doesn't it? Like, oh, you having a burger, are you? Do you want to sit on this bike over here? Do some exercise while you're at it, pal?
Yeah. It feels all realms of wrong, really.
If you're going to go and treat yourself to something, like, indulgent like that, you kind of want to just enjoy it, don't you? You don't want to be reminded that you're being bad.
Exactly.
Not that it's bad, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, as they say, anything in moderation, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Any hoodle. So, what have you got coming up for us today, Jord Man?
Oh, it changed a little bit. Like it. Keeping me on my feet, which will help with the weight loss.
Exactly.
So, we've nearly been doing this a year, which is crazy.
2 weeks today will be 1 year.
It will, which is madness.
Yes.
We showed all those haters.
Yeah. Mum and Dad, screw you. I told you I'd keep it up.
But yeah, so I've done a lot of researching over this year, especially when I've been looking for stories that are sort of cringeworthy, shall we say.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is occasionally put a few to a side when I felt like, oh, yeah, that I like those. So I've got a little compilation of what I'm calling Cringe Fest for you later.
Brilliant. Nice, a little wrap-up.
Yes, if you like, yeah.
So it's a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, you know, a little mix and match of all the horriblest stories from the ones that you've kept aside from all the past year.
Exactly. And I'll include a story of mine as well.
Brilliant. I love all these little personal stories that you sprinkle in. It makes it really, really personal. Gives that a personal touch. And I'm sure that is why all of our 7 followers love listening to our podcast.
That is true. Thank you, all 7. So anyway, dare I ask what you've got for us? I think I remember something about dragons.
There was dragons involved because it's a dragon episode.
Brilliant.
So they're kind of throughout, yeah. So today, Jordan, I thought I'd change tack a little bit and tell you about something which isn't exactly considered paranormal, but maybe kind of is. So it's not exactly a cryptid, but it is something that is myth and legend. And that is, as you so fantastically remembered, dragons.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, I don't believe them for 1 second, so this will be a bit of a convince me bitch.
Oh, I will.
Okay.
Let me see if I can convince you of all their scaly existence, Jordan. So, dragons are commonly only seen as mythical creatures, and if you ask almost anyone, they'll probably say they never actually existed. They are depicted as fantastical beings that often combine features of various animals such as reptiles and birds, but also come with some additional magical or supernatural qualities. The concept of dragons appears in mythologies and many cultures across the globe, shown to be feathered serpents from China to Europe and even in Mesoamerican cultures. These mythical creatures have been woven into the cultural fabric of society, serving as symbols of power, wisdom, and often embodying both benevolent and malevolent qualities.
Oh, okay.
So, have I changed your mind yet?
Nah.
No? Not yet? No?
Not at all. No.
Fucking hell, mate.
Nothing.
I didn't know you were going to need this much convincing. I'm glad I wrote a little bit more.
So am I.
So the idea of dragons appears to have been influenced by the discovery of large fossils or ancient reptilian creatures that some people who simply didn't know any better might have imagined these things to look like what we now know as dragons. There is no scientific evidence to support the existence of these fire-breathing winged creatures.
Told you.
Fuck off. No. This is a little bit where I'm going to do a little, or is there, reveal.
Nah. Gonna just tell you now.
No. Fine, I'll just continue then. The answer is no, Jordan. Science wouldn't touch it with a barge pole. But, in order to see if we can discover the truth, right here from our very own bedroom and office respectively, first off, let's take a look at the ancients, shall we? There is a plethora of art and stories dating back as far back as nearly 5,000 years depicting dragons, with the oldest image of a western dragon appearing in an illustration from a medieval manuscript which was created around 1260 AD.
Yeah, but they were off the rocker then too.
Were they just mad back then, were they?
Yep. Total fucking idiots.
Bloody bunch of mad lads just pissed off their heads on Friday night, like, oh, dragons are real, mate.
Just a bit too much smoky, I think.
A bit too much grog. The earliest, however, known depiction of a dragon is a stylized C-shaped representation carved in jade found in the eastern Inner Mongolia and belonged to the Hongshun culture, which thrived between 4,500 and 3,000 BCE. But also, we see Tiamat, which we spoke about before, a Babylonian personification of salt water, which was thought to have been around in 1780 BCE.
Okay.
So there is a common belief that the idea of dragons came from ancient people, as I said before, who were in the middle of doing something like a little bit of mining and happened across a fossil of a dinosaur and just so happened to think, oh shit, look at those massive bones. They must have come from a creature that still exists. And hence, the legend of the dragon was born. Although, if you think about it, old Bill doing some digging around 4,500 years ago, yes, he might have thought that and run around screaming about dragons, but then his old pal Deirdre, who was mining behind him, would have probably just given him a smack around the head and said, oh yeah, Bill? Well, when was the last time you saw one of these buggers? Never, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I like Deirdre.
She's a level-headed lass.
Yeah.
She keeps it real. And that's what I'm saying. She is obviously dismissing the fact, the notion that people just found bones and thought, oh, they must be dragons, because that's not where the myth came from. They are actual creatures, Jordan. And you've just sided with Deirdre.
Nah.
No, you've already said it now.
Well, yeah, I do side with Deirdre, and Bill's a bellend.
Hey man, Bill's alright. He looked after me through some dark times back in high school.
Did he? All right.
Kept screaming about dragons though. He would shut up. He showed me bones every night.
See, I told you.
Yeah, he's alright though, he's a good guy. But this does mean, to me at least, that these ancient people probably did actually see these creatures. And if they only found the bones of these things, then where did the thought of them having wings and soaring through the skies come from? And I mean, I know they had pterosaurs, which they could have found the bones of, but we know their head shape, so surely in this day and age, the myth of the dragon would have had that shaped head and not the shape that it does.
That's true. Are dragons classed as dinosaurs?
I'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay.
But more importantly, why does this same legend span right the way across the world, nearly identical in almost all cultures, myths, and art?
Because we're all idiots.
No, Jordan, the only and most obvious answer is that they existed and they were seen by people. Strangely though, dragons pop up in a lot of creation myths, and not only are they present, but they generally have the same purpose. In Chinese legend, for example, there is 4 dragons who lived in the sea, and after seeing that people had no rain for a long time, they made it their goal to see that the rain came. That's an oversimplified description there, but that's the gist. In ancient Indian texts, such as the Rig Veda from approximately 1500 BCE, recounts the tale of Vrtra, a formidable dragon. According to the narrative, the god Indra had to slay Vrtra to unleash the heavenly waters upon the earth. So there's the water again. In Mesopotamian legends, the god Marduk engaged in a struggle for dominance with the dragon Tiamat, as I mentioned before, seeking supremacy over humanity. With the Zoroastrian tradition of Iran, dragons known as Azi or serpents in modern translation, and play a significant role in scriptures, often depicted as malevolent creatures that swallowed people and animals.
Right, okay. But still idiots.
I'm not persuading you towards the argument of dragons here.
Not yet. I'm going to be open-minded.
Good, because the real hard-hitting evidence is coming up.
Okay, right. I'm strapped in and I am ready.
Hold on to your nipples.
Hit me with your best shot, as they say.
So dragons were everywhere. So how is it that they are only seen as myth today? Well, Jordan, I found the one piece of information that would settle it all from the one place that everyone goes to seek the great truth. TikTok.
Yeah, perfect.
And in this evidence-filled video, we have a person talking about why dragons did in fact exist.
Okay, so this is just one idiot again?
No, this is one large nugget of truth.
Okay.
That I'm about to drop on your face.
Perfect.
This time you don't even have to pay for it.
Oh, God.
In this video, he asks, aren't dinosaurs in the Bible? To which he replies, of course they're not. The word dinosaur wasn't invented until 1841, and he makes a super funny joke about how the word computer isn't in the Bible either, but they fucking exist, don't they, Jordan?
I believe so. I'm sat in front of one.
I just whispered, and dragons are real too, and you said it, so how's your dragon in front of you?
It's warming me up. It's a bit chilly.
He's a good guy. So he says that yes, dinosaurs are indeed in the Bible, but they weren't called dinosaurs, they were referred to as dragons. He points out that in an 1891 edition of the dictionary, dinosaur wasn't even there, but that dragons were mentioned in the Bible no less than 34 times, and also oddly, that dragons are listed in a 1946 edition of the dictionary and described as now rare.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Oh, I hear the wheels are turning. I hear you coming around.
Well, I mean, this this is just one book, isn't it?
Hey man, this is just one of the many thousands of evidence-filled paragraphs that I have.
Well, okay, bring it.
He says that after the Great Flood, which isn't just a Christian thing, by the way, and is mentioned in almost every religious story in one way or another, the population of humans began to rise and the population of dragons began to dip. This is because people moved away from them, taking away the dragon's food source. People killed them for food because they were being shits, to show power, and for ancient recipes which included things like dragon blood or dragon saliva.
There's some sort of like elixir of life or something.
Possibly, or maybe just a fucking good soup.
Oh, saliva soup.
Delicious.
Oh.
But my favourite point that this gentleman in this truth-telling TikTok video says is to do with the Chinese zodiac, where he says that it consists of 12 animals, the pig, the rat, the dog, etc., but also includes the dragon.
Okay.
Now, no one really knows when the zodiac was created, but it was officially identified around 2,000 years ago. So why on earth, Jordan, I ask you, I demand you tell me, why would they create this to include 11 real animals and 1 mythological?
Maybe they just couldn't think of anything else, and they were like, oh yeah, I remember about some sort of dragon. Oh, that'll look cool.
They just couldn't be bothered to try and think of anything else. Just like went through the farmyard song, like dog, rat, pig, yeah, like can't think of a 12th one.
Yeah, so they were like, what's something else? No, not unicorn. Dragon.
That'll do, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't put unicorns in there, they're extinct.
Oh no, it's a new can of worms.
So now, obviously, we can only really speculate about what people from 2,000 to 5,000 years ago saw with their very own eyes. But what about modern day people? So to round this off, Jordan, I have a story of one person who has seen millions of dragons.
Right.
And that story is as follows. Once I saw 3 dragons at once, a male, a female, and their baby. The adults were pitch black and the baby was albino. I've seen one of the dragons multiple times and I see it as a friend. We essentially grew up together.
Wow. Okay.
Quite the sentence.
Nut job.
First sighting, I was about 5. I opened the back door and got a sense of something calling me. I looked to my right and I saw a tiny baby dragon sticking its head out from behind the shed. I could sense fear from it, and my brain was busy trying to figure out what was going on. It was nervous. I thought, oh, poor guy, I'll go cheer him up. I take one step and poof, it was gone. When the dragon was there, I felt a strange feeling that I still can't explain. Time seemed to slow down. I had no idea what a dragon was at the time, so I thought it was a snake.
He's definitely not of sound mind.
I think if he saw this thing, that's supposed to be a baby dragon, and thought it was a snake, there's definitely going to be a size difference there, so it probably was just a snake.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But also, I don't think I've ever likened a dragon to a snake.
I think he just, saw the scales in the eyes and just thought, what else is scaly and has eyes? Skipped alligator, because why would an alligator be poking its head out from behind a shed?
Why on earth would a dragon be?
Well, mate, that's what it was, so I couldn't tell you. But there's a fair amount of sightings, right? So don't base your decision solely on that story.
Okay.
Next sighting occurred when I was 7. It was late at night. I was playing video games and my motion sensor light turned on. I think nothing of it. However, when the motion sensor light turns off again, I get the same feeling that I felt in the first sighting. I look out of the window. I see a silhouette of a small dragon standing right in front of my door. I thought it was an alien. After a few seconds, the dragon leaves. The thing about dragons is, they are very sneaky and smart. They will do everything they can to stay hidden, only showing themselves to certain people. Then, I was 13, at a new house. I had just gotten home from a trip, and it was the middle of the night. My mum parked outside our gate to go and open it. I stepped out to stretch, and sitting right in front of me in the middle of the dirt road is a massive dragon. I realised that our neighbour is seeing the dragon too, and after a few seconds, it leaves. The dragon, not the neighbour. The next day, I talked to my neighbour, and he described almost exactly what I saw. I never said anything about what it looked like, which is how I knew he wasn't lying.
Right. I would suggest that this guy starts drinking from a different water source.
My thought on that story is, if you went up to your neighbour and said, I saw a dragon yesterday, and they went, yeah, me too, and I went, what did it look like? And he went,
like a snake.
Big, scaly, wings, dragon face. You'd be like, fucking hell, yeah, that's what I saw. Because you're just describing a dragon.
Yeah.
It's not as if you could be like, blonde hair, crop top with the words "I heart booty" written across it.
God.
It's just a dragon. You're just describing a dragon. So this person could have been, thinking this kid was like having a laugh with him or, playing along, imagination and all that. And he's just like, oh yeah, I saw the dragon too. And this kid's walking away going, fucking hell, mate, I can't believe you saw it as well.
Yeah, it seems a logical explanation.
Right, there's just a fair few amount of sightings to go. So again, don't judge him too harshly just yet. Wait until you hear all the evidence.
Okay.
The next sighting was the next year. I was in my car. I look out the window to see a shadow fly out from behind a group of trees. Then a second dragon appeared. They both flew in formation for less than a second before hiding behind another group of trees.
It could be excess chlorine.
It could be all that LSD.
That would explain it, to be fair.
It would absolutely explain it, yeah. 2 years after that, I'm riding my bike up and down my neighbourhood. When I park my bike, I hear a rustle in the grass next to me as a white thing jumps out and into the water and disappears without a trace. I realised that it was a baby dragon, and possibly an albino one too.
It could also be lead. I'm just thinking out loud.
I'm sticking with the LSD, mate.
Yeah, or a combination of all of the above.
This dragon experiencer finishes by saying that they told one of their gaming friends about their dragon experiences, and their friend replied saying that he saw a dead one by a petrol station in Florida, which isn't far from where this person lived near the Everglades. So it seems that there's a population out there, so Jordan, we should take the next plane out there, sod Christmas, forget all that nonsense, we've got dragons to find, and as a natural progression of things, have sex with.
Oh, dear.
No? Is that just me?
That's probably more just you.
Okay, fair enough. It just reminded me too much of the reptilians.
Oh, right. Okay, I see. Yeah, you enjoy those too, don't you?
Oh, after the last episode, mate, they haven't left me alone. I've got reptilians knocking at my door.
Oh, Jesus.
There's one there right now, covered in snow. He's freezing.
I'm sure you'll warm him up.
Oh, yeah. Even though they're cold-blooded.
Well, I won't get in your way.
I've got more room now that tooth has been pulled.
Oh, God.
Anyway, Jordan, what do you think? Have I swayed you? Have I changed your mind on dragons? Yes is the obvious answer.
Not fully, shall we say?
All right. Okay, fair enough. Even if, I've changed your position of thinking to possibly, that's enough for me.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I maybe wouldn't shut the door on the idea. A lot of those things, I guess, add and stack up to maybe meaning something.
Yeah.
Even if it's just not what we think it is. Although, saying that, imagine the irony if these people were high on LSD and actually they think they saw a dragon, but actually it ended up being a unicorn or something.
Yeah, that would be ironic when it's unicorn plodding through the forest and didn't notice
It's a fucking dragon!
They didn't notice the human walking along, just fucking high off the tits, like, holy shit, a dragon! It's like, come on, James, it thinks we're a dragon. We're safe. Get to the hideout quick.
I love as well, like, the need to say that they told one of his gaming friends.
I know, yeah. And just ironically, the gaming friend also saw one dead next to a petrol station.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which, obviously, no one ever goes there, so surely this would have been on the news.
Although, to be fair, it could have got hit, and it was actually just a very sad story.
Yeah, but it's still, someone would have gone, fucking hell, a dragon. I'll give that to science. I'll call the news.
I think because someone else looked at it and thought, oh, a snake.
Yeah, not a dragon, you idiot. That's a snake.
Just tossed it in the bin.
Picked up this, 2-ton fucking snake.
It must be an anaconda, that one.
Get the snake's wing out my face.
Oh, yeah, mystery solved. There you go.
Yeah, it's all just snakes. Sorry, my mistake, guys. Sorry. Won't waste your time any further.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it all the same. I can't say I'm a massive believer, to be fair.
I can't say I'm not, given all the evidence.
Yeah, that is true. However, I enjoyed your retelling all the same.
Smashing. Right, Jordan. I want to hear your medley of cringy things.
Oh, yeah. Are you ready for Cringe Fest?
I cannot wait.
Okay. So, here is a list of what I think are my favourite cringiest moments that the internet has to offer. And I thought I'd share them with you. It's the type of things that just make you want to crawl under a rock and just pretend that never happened. I'm not here.
Fantastic.
I'd like to start off with, as I alluded to, a recent happening that was from my dad.
I love your dad. Content mine.
Cringe is absolutely sometimes the best description. See what you think to this. So I'll set the scene. My mum and dad were invited to ours last weekend just to have dinner together.
Yeah.
My mum had a hip operation about 7-8 weeks ago. She's doing fine, by the way. Thanks for asking. And
I know how she's doing. I talk to her.
yes, yeah, you often phone her up every evening, don't you?
Every evening, yeah, for a good 3-hour natter.
Imagine that you did.
Yeah, imagine if I did.
Oh,
That'd be weird.
it's fine. It'll keep her company.
Are you using your ointment, Jordan?
I sometimes forget.
Mum says she doesn't want to have to come round. She doesn't have to come round and wash it again, Jordan.
Oh, dear. I didn't know she told you that.
Yeah, well, that's what happens in a 3-hour chat.
That was more than 2 hours worth of the conversation, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, from tip to end.
Oh, God.
From root to tip. God, grim.
Right, I'm going to move on. So
Okay.
anyway, so she's had a hip operation, and I thought, she's going to get a bit sick of seeing the same four walls at this point.
Of course.
And plus she has to start walking around a little bit more with the crutches, so we invited her over.
Did she have to walk there, did she? Is that what you meant?
No, she drove, but then she walked to the house.
Got it.
So they get to our front door, and my dad is first, and he says, "Oh, you'll never guess what happened." So then my heart sinks, and I think, okay.
Oh, where's this going?
So it turns out, because my mum was just slowly following behind my dad, just kind of watching the ground, making sure that she doesn't slip and everything, my dad guided them, and he let himself in someone else's house.
Oh, my God.
The door was unlocked, so he just opened the door and walked in. My mum's like following, not realising.
Shouting your name.
And then they've got a dog, so the dog started barking. He thought it was Teddy.
Yeah.
And then realised he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, wrong address." And
Oh,
then
my God.
my mum grabbed his arm, like pulled him away, and was like, "Quick!" And it was literally like only 2 doors down, so it wasn't like the wrong street or anything. But
Yeah.
luckily, we are friendly with that neighbour.
Perfect. That's very good.
So my wife messaged her and apologised on their behalf. And later on, she sent us the fucking Ring doorbell footage.
Oh, no.
She said, "We've been watching it all night."
You know.
So
You have to
just-
send me that.
I'm going to send it to you now just so you can have a quick
Yes,
quick
yes, I
peek.
want to see this.
You'll hear, as it plays, my mum just going, "Quick!"
Oh, my God. Here we go. I'm so excited.
So they're walking up to what is the wrong house.
Yep.
My dad doesn't even realise. He doesn't even really bother. He just checks the door
Yeah.
and lets himself in. Then mum's like, "Oh, sorry, quick!"
Oh, sorry, quick!
I'm sorry, quick.
And they said they'd been watching that all that night and pissing
Oh,
themselves.
God. That's amazing.
So that's what my dad's like, everybody.
Oh, I love it.
Oh dear. So I thought that starts us off quite nicely.
Yes.
So anyway, a list of some of the internet's most cringy entries as follows. Short and sweet. My wife and I met her friend for lunch one day. I bent over to give her friend's baby a peck on the cheek. Didn't realise she was breastfeeding until it was too late. It wasn't the baby I kissed.
Oh, God.
That's not great, is it?
I just want to clarify, that's not your story, right?
That is not mine. This is from the internet.
All right, brilliant.
I promise. Another one. My late auntie played a whole game of temping bowling in someone's orthopaedic shoes, which she picked up off the counter by mistake.
How would you do that?
Kind of implying that some poor person that needed their shoes was like, "Where the fuck are my shoes?" While this fucking old lady was there just happily playing tenpin in them.
Yeah, probably walking the best she's ever walked. Like, fucking hell. These shoes are brilliant. I'll have to get me a pair of these buggers.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, my game's really good tonight."
Yeah, sprinting from like top to bottom. I've never felt so alive. Do you know what I mean?
That'd be so good. And meanwhile, this poor bugger that needs them is just sort of crippled over.
Yeah, just trying to enjoy the night the best they can, like throwing the bowling ball from the seat.
Yeah, Yeah, just using one of those metal frames.
Yeah.
Just to guide the ball in. Yeah. Still goes in the wrong lane, though.
Of course, yeah. I can't play ball on either, so I can't complain.
I'm not very good, to be fair. Another one. I was in the ladies waiting for the only cubicle to become free. The lady flushed and walked out. As she walks past me, she had a really nice perfume, and I said to her, "Oh, you smell lovely," as I walked into the cubicle.
Oh my God.
She'd just done a really stinky shit, which whacked me right in the face as soon as I got in there. I turned around and was mortified as I told her I actually really meant her perfume, and I was being genuine. Could you imagine that? Like, oh, you smell lovely.
It's just like being really sarcastically horrible.
Yeah.
Nice smell, woman.
You smell lovely. What perfume have you got?
Literally, eau de toilette.
Brilliant. Well done.
There you go.
Didn't know you spoke French.
Yeah, it's my full vocabulary right there.
Brilliant. The worst thing just happened. I won't recover. I just reached into a box of free samples outside of a chicken restaurant, only it wasn't free samples. It was a man holding his box of chicken. His chicken that I tried to steal. Could you imagine that, though? How do you, like, what do you say? Oh, shit, sorry, I thought it was free samples.
Yeah.
You taking the piss?
Why would someone be standing there, probably doing their own thing?
Yeah.
You know, like putting the phone in the pocket, just holding the bucket, and you automatically go, must be a free sample. Not, oh, look, there's someone stood there with their own chicken.
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't, like, wearing the uniform of the place or anything as well.
Shouting out, free samples!
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't wearing a sandwich board.
I did something similar, though. I mean, I have an excuse.
Oh, no.
This is when I was about 4 or 5 years old, but I was in a shop with my parents, and I do not know why I remember this. Another fantastic example of my memory. But we were in a shop, and I just knew that you take things from the shelf and you put it in your trolley. And I picked up a toy out of another person's trolley.
Oh, brilliant.
And I was like, hey, yeah, this looks good. Stuck it in our trolley. And, like, I can only imagine the kid who was with the other family, you know, mortified seeing me just take their toy away from them. And my parents were like, what are you doing? Who did you get this from? I was like, them. They had to go back over and be like, sorry, and give them their toy back.
No. So that other kid now has had about 15 years of therapy.
Well, when I was about 30 years of therapy.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Maybe after, 15 years, he thought, I better get help for this.
Yeah, possibly. Just can't go into shops for fear of people stealing their stuff.
The fucking basket thief.
I was an idiot.
Brilliant. My granddad was on a train once and noticed that a passenger had forgotten his bag. He grabbed the bag, ran after him, yelled, "Wait, you forgot this!" and threw it out onto the platform as the doors were closing. Perfect. But turns out it was another passenger's bag.
Oh, God. Again, I mean, I know the intent is to be helpful, but wouldn't you just be like, is that your bag? Dead quick before you grabbed it and just sprint off with it.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Can you imagine the other person, the door's closing, the train's going off now, and she's like, I've got my passport in there.
Yeah.
She was on the way to an airport.
That was my laptop. On the way to like a big important meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's going to secure the future of the company, turn them into millionaires.
Oh, yeah. Could you imagine it was like CEO of Apple way back when?
Yeah.
Turning up for a board meeting.
Right. Don't forget your laptop. All you need is your laptop. That is the key to this meeting. You got it, buddy. Some guy just nicks it off the seat beside you and lobs it onto the platform.
Oh, God. When I first read it, though, I thought it was going to say it went onto the tracks or something.
I thought it was going to say something like that it had something breakable in it.
Oh,
it just
okay,
shattered.
Yeah. I mean, it still might have done. Who knows?
Possibly and potentially.
I don't know if they ever got reunited, but we'll never know.
Curtis, I hate these stories without closure, Jordan.
Sorry. I'll do my best to try and find it for you.
Cheers, buddy.
Another one. I waved to a man because I thought he waved at me. Apparently, he waved to another woman. So to get out of the awkward situation, I kept my hand up, but a taxi pulled over and he drove me to an airport. I'm now in another country starting a new life.
That's not true.
No, I think the last bit was satire, but yeah. I think the whole, taxi got kind of waved down. Although, How would you get out of that? So if a taxi saw your arm up,
Yeah.
what would you say to get out of that?
I would say, do you do extremely long distances? And they'd go, no, sorry, we're local. And I go, okay, sorry, I'll find someone else.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. I'd just ask a question. I'd be like, I'm sorry to pull you over. Do you know roughly how much an airport run would be?
Yeah.
And whatever they say, I'm like, okay, brilliant, cheers.
Or when they pull over, just get in and be like, it's £10 for an hour, mate. £10 for a suck job.
It's like, oh, it's Christmas already.
Yeah, fucking get in. Ah! Backfired again.
Is that what you call it?
Yep, that's what the special is. £30 for a backfire.
Backfire. Oh, God. Well, actually, speaking of taxis, but not in that way, 7 years ago, someone got into a taxi and asked to be dropped off 3 miles away. At the end of the journey, they went to pay and realised that it was not a taxi.
What? So this person just gave him a free lift?
They just hitchhiked.
Oh, right.
I don't know how that happened.
Nice people, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, they're lucky. There could have been some right weirdos.
Absolutely, yeah.
Another one. I was holding my cat in my arms so the vet could give him an injection. The cat was struggling and frightened, so I bent and kissed his forehead to comfort him. Only it wasn't his forehead. The vet had gripped his neck, ready to inject, and I kissed the back of the vet's hand. Then I sucked him off. No, sorry, that wasn't part of it. Sorry, my mistake.
That was the story I sent you.
What was it? Yeah. Another one. Mortified. I just tried on a jacket in TK Maxx. The jacket belonged to a girl who was trying on another jacket.
Oh, my God.
See, the thing is, in fairness, at TK Maxx, you can't tell.
Yeah, that is true. Everything's just kind of strewn around.
It's kind of a jumble sale, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you might see a jacket, it's the wrong size, but you're out of luck because that's the only thing they have.
Is it not normally the first thing that people do is that they check the size and they check the price and then they try it on?
I guess so.
So if it didn't have a price tag, maybe don't try it on.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they use the classic, oh, it must be free then.
Hilarious.
Yeah. When I worked in a shop, that fucking got old fast.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, it doesn't scan. Oh, it must be free. Yeah, you fucking funny bastard. Where were you all my life?
Smashing your head against the counter. Trying to fucking get yourself out early.
Oh, God, could you imagine that? Like, laughing genuinely to it, and then it just slowly becomes a bit of an insane thing.
Yeah, yeah. The camera slowly pans in on your face, staring off into the distance.
Penultimate one. I was at a coffee shop waiting for my coffee when I ate the largest muffin sample on a plate.
It wasn't a sample.
Yeah, it wasn't until I started to eat one that I realised it wasn't a free sample, indeed, but someone's dirty plate they'd returned to the counter.
Oh, God. So not only was it not a free sample, it was also half eaten.
Well, I don't know.
Didn't have a price tag on it, had a dirty napkin crumpled up next to it, a knife that was covered in butter next to the rest of the dirty cups. Use your fucking common sense, people.
It's not so common anymore, I'm afraid. The guy goes on to say, I left without my coffee in horror.
Oh, God. Somebody else probably picked that up.
I would too.
Oh, free sample of a coffee.
At least that would have been untouched.
Yeah, very true.
I suppose.
Oh, disgusting.
Oh, dear. Last one. This isn't a particularly awful one, but it's my favourite because it's just so innocent. But for me, it's the most cringy.
Okay.
And it is, 3 years ago, a cute guy I worked with wanted to give me a fist bump. I thought he was pretending to hold an invisible microphone, so I leaned forward and said hello.
That's brilliant. I love that one.
I'm assuming they didn't get together, but she didn't say.
That is the sort of, like, really sort of ditzy endearing thing. And actually, funny enough, a bit of a change of subject, you just reminded me, you know that book that I was going to do that I wrote on my wife?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I was going to do that for, like, episode 4, but I thought, no, the people don't know us. I don't want to come across like an asshole just yet.
Give it time.
I'm thinking about revisiting that.
Oh, please do.
And I'm thinking about having a little read of that on air. I thought that might be good as a little segment. Maybe for our birthday, if we don't sort of, have any real content to dive into. If we're just having like a little party, I might bring some up then.
Oh, please. I don't think she'd mind, really.
No, I asked her and she said it was fine. She didn't care.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, do it.
I just didn't want people to think that, I was seeming like I was bullying her or something like that, but...
No, please do. That would be so good. I'd love to hear some.
Okie dokie.
I fucking love it. So yes, that concludes for what I think of as Cringe Fest.
Nice.
I hope you enjoyed.
I fucking loved it, mate. The cringiest cringe fest around is my favourite thing. I love doing it.
So good.
Loved hearing it.
If anybody else has their own cringy stories, please do tell us, because it is so good to hear these things.
Absolutely.
Let us know at twoguyswhatsup@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Send it in. So, Jordan, does that about bring us round to the end of today's episode?
I think it does.
Fantastic news. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's episode of Two Guys What's Up. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you listen to us so you don't miss another episode, and maybe even tell a friend. Take your friend to a cafe and point out all the samples that are not free but are indeed other people's purchases. Then go to the counter and request they put on over the tannoy Two Guys What's Up for everyone to hear and enjoy.
Yeah. That would be lovely.
Best way to spend your day.
Absolutely.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, our Linktree link is in the description of this episode, which you can click on, and you will be jetted off to every link you will ever need for your Two Guys What's Up needs. Want to get your own Two Guys What's Up t-shirt? Click the link. Want to tell us about your own dragon sightings? Click the link. Want to hear all our amazing bonus episodes? Click the link. And don't forget, we now have a Patreon where you can find all of your Two Guys What's Up extras, including pin badges, shout-outs, t-shirts, and if you really can't get enough of our fantastic tales and gorgeous voices, well, now you can get more because we now release bonus content, which is released on the last Friday of every month. There is currently 5 sitting up there, waiting for your ears to just gobble up the audio goodness. And Jordan, I don't think we talk about the bonus episodes enough.
What? You mean like the end of every single episode? Like now?
Well, that is a very fair point, but I just don't think we tell our gorgeous audience just exactly what it is that they are missing out on. So I was thinking that now might be the perfect time to tell the audience at home about some of the topics that are there right now for just the low price of £3.
I mean, yeah, that is fair, to be honest. I mean, I am proud of the things that we put together, and I think it should be shouted from the rooftops. Or at least mentioned here.
Yes, here is fine. I'm terrified of heights. Arnold, can we just turn the music down, please? Arnold?
Oh, sorry. I'm just hearing my ear from Arnie that apparently we don't have time for this. He says, can we move on?
Arnie said that?
Yeah. Sorry,
what?
Yeah, sorry, Arnie. Yeah. Sorry, Ian. Yeah, we're pretty good friends on and off air.
What's he saying?
It's fine. He is coming to New York with me, actually. It should be a good laugh.
Oh, right. Can I come?
What's that? Oh, no, sorry. Arnie said the flight's already full and the boarding passes were already printed or something. He says he's very sorry.
Okay, fair enough. And he knows that as a fact, does he?
Yeah. He's very clever.
Well, can't I just get another flight and meet you there?
He says no.
Oh. Well, can we at least turn the music down then, please? Oh, very clever, Arnie.
He says you can't call him Arnie. I know he always does that all the time. It pisses me off.
What's that?
Oh, nothing. Just something Arnie and I joke about all the time. It's nothing, really.
I'll wait if you're left out. Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm just going to tell the audience about the bonus episodes, music or not. Do what you want, Arnie, you bastard.
He says he will.
Such a cunt. In our fantastical bonus episodes, we talk about fantastic topics such as crop circles, incompetent leaders, alien-human planetary exchange programs, strangest phobias, parallel universes, tongue twisters, and werewolves on our very own doorstep.
What more could you possibly want?
Well, I'll give you something a little bit extra, Jordan, because we are going to play a little bit of our latest bonus episode right now for the people at home to hear exactly what they are missing. He set up his sleeping bag and he got himself hunkered down. It was a pretty uneventful night, some sounds here and there until it got around 2 a.m, where he saw the fucker skulk out of the forest.
Oh, so he actually saw it?
Oh yeah, he saw it. It's going to get a bit creepy. He said that it was a massive creature that walked upright but moved strangely. It kind of walked like a person would, but looking back, he can't even remember seeing its legs move. It was like it was gliding, and it moved so silently through the surrounding field.
I didn't realise all these cryptids use electric scooters.
Yeah, like those segways.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was like coming out of the forest, like all creepy and like all eerie like, and then all of a sudden it caught fire. Or it's just like one of the wheels jams and he's just going in circles.
That would be hilarious.
Did you hear about the creator of the Segway, by the way?
No.
He died by accidentally driving a Segway off a cliff.
Amazing.
Ironic, innit? Also, in a similar vein, the guy that created Plenty of Fish got divorced from his wife because she met someone on Plenty of Fish.
Oh, God. Victims of their own creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So what will that be for us with Two Guys What's Up?
Maybe our laptops are going to fall on our heads or something.
Okay.
I'm going to slip and fall and land on my microphone, die from rectal damage.
Imagine if you're recording at the same time. This is the inside of Ian's arsehole. He did have quite the curry the other night.
Oh, God. The colours. They're beautiful.
Ian, it's peaking. You'll have to do it again.
All right, Jordan, pull this thing out of me.
Oh, the cable snapped.
Just push it in deeper. I've got another one.
Beautiful.
Grim. And all that is available right now, starting with the bonus episodes for just £3 a month. So if you want to help support the show and get some cool stuff while you do it, head over to patreon.com/2guyswhatsup to check out all the goodies over there. The link will, of course, be down below for your clickety-clappity-doop-dop pleasure. But if you can't do that, but you still like to help us out, then a 5-star rating and review in your podcast app of choice would be the best way to do that, and we would be eternally grateful.
We really would.
But on that note, thank you for listening. Have an amazing week, guys. Jordan, you have fun in New York with Arnie without me.
Oh, we will.
And we will see you next Monday.
See ya.
Bye. Screw you, buddy. You used to be cool.
Still up.
How dare you do this to me? You can take your Arnie's hollow off.
Oh, what happened there?
I swooshed.
Oh, it sounded like you sneezed.
No, really?
It was like a stifled, like, kind of thing.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant like a full-on, ah!
No.
So that must have sounded fucking well weird through the phone.
Could you imagine someone be like,